Hello and welcome to the Paul White Show. We're on location again. As you see, I don't like to stay in that studio. We like to come out and travel about around town. And this morning I do have a guest. My guest is Dr. Eric Clayborn. We're going to be telling you what to do with your animals out in the yard. We might hit on some dogs and some cats, so stay tuned. Don't change that channel. We'll be right back after this commercial. Welcome back to the Paul White Show. I did tell you before the commercial break that I did have a guest, and no, we're not in the studio. As you can see, we're out and about town. And my guest this morning is Dr. Eric Clayborn. Welcome to the show, Dr. Clayborn.
All right.
I call Dr. Clayborn my television vet. So he's been on the show several times trying to inform viewers of what to do with your pets at home, especially this time of year. What are you seeing this time of year, Dr. Clayborn?
I've just seen a lot of fleas and ticks this time of year, especially since we had such a mild winter last year that the ticks especially are really bad. So just encouraging clients to make sure that they're treating their pets at least monthly for the fleas and ticks.
Okay. Also, the dogs that are outdoors, your grass, believe it or not, has got a lot to do with ticks and fleas harboring in your grass. If you don't keep your lawn mowed, and the weeds and stuff down, that's a good nesting place for ticks, and you let your dog out, and then next thing you know, your dog's full of ticks. So that will also help keep them off the dogs if they keep the yards groomed pretty good.
Right, keeping the grass, like you said, cut, but also just treating the grass.
Right.
To make sure that you, because a lot of the eggs are going to be laid out in the grass, so just make sure that you're treating the environment as well.
Okay, when they get these on them, what's a good way to treat for the fleas on them? I know I don't think many people nowadays are dipping them. They want tropical something to use to take care of the fleas.
Right, there's multiple topical products that you can put on that are just applied once a month. They also have new products on now that work up to anywhere from 3 to 8 months because there are different collars and different topicals that you can put on them. So there's also oral medications that you can use with them if you don't like the topicals, because some of them think it leaves too much of a greasy residue on their dog, so they'll just go with the oral medication as well.
Okay, what is the best way to tell if your dog got fleas? I mean, quite naturally we watch them and we think they got them because they're scratching all the time, like they're itching all the time. Right. So what's the best way to actually tell if you can't physically see them, or you don't physically see them jumping off the dog or crawling on the hair of the dog?
I mean, just close examination of the animal. There's also flea combs that you can use, which is a little fine-tooth comb that you can use to brush out the animal, and that'll help you expose the fleas and also expose some of the flea dirt, which looks like little pieces of like pepper that are on your animal skin. That's one of the identifying marks that you have a flea infestation. Okay.
So if you don't see any fleas and the dog's scratching, there are other causes of him itching and stuff, which could be a skin problem.
Right. A lot of times this time of year, you're also looking at some grass allergies. A lot of dogs are really sensitive to grasses and trees and pollen and things that are in the air. So you just have to also treat them for that in terms of some dogs require Benadryl, just antihistamines to help with some of the itching. Other dogs are going to require something a little stronger in terms of anti-inflammatory, like a steroid that they may need.
Okay, yeah, I know I've had a lot of people come in and say my dog got fleas. What I need to do? And my first question to them was, have you physically seen the fleas? Did you bathe the dog and fleas were in the water? Have you been combing the dog or looked through, to find out fleas? And a lot of them, at that particular point, really don't have fleas. They scratching because of what you mentioned, the allergies, the grass allergies and the pollen and all that stuff. It's surprisingly, but we don't apply some of our conditions to animals.
Right.
But animals can
get pretty much whatever we can get.
Absolutely. So. Right. But we never think of it that way.
Right. A lot of times if your dog is or pet is just scratching year round, you also have to worry about some food allergies with them. So you may have to think about putting them on a special diet. some of the hyperallergenic diets that contain different types of proteins and different types of carbohydrates really help with some of the overall itching.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know they be trying to. So, well, I don't know. You know, you looked on them, you haven't seen, and it's got to be something else that's causing them to scratch like that, because that's not normal for them to just sit and scratch all day long and,
Right.
and walling, trying to itching, you know, rubbing and stuff, trying to get it off. Okay, ticks. When you come up with ticks on a dog, you can't just most of the time combing them out like you would fleas,
Right.
and get rid of them. What's the best way to get a tick off of your dog without leaving, you know, they call them Lyme diseases and
Right,
all
there's
kind
lots of different diseases they can cause. So, I mean, it's best just to try and grab them just at the base, just as close to the skin as possible, so that you make sure that you do get the head of the tick. A lot of times if you just pull from the body, then you're going to leave the head, and it's still going to cause irritation and cause a lot of inflammation and swelling at the site where they were attached. So you just have to make sure that you get as close to the skin as possible. Go ahead and clamp down on the tick, give it a few seconds so it can kind of release the muscles from the mouth parts, and then you can go ahead and pull that off.
And then it's easy to get him off.
Easy to
I know back in the day we used to heat a pin and stick a pin in the back of the tick to try the heat to make him turn loose so you can.
Yeah,
so
there's
you
a lot
can
of
get him
different
off.
kind of old school remedies
Right,
that people
right,
used to
right.
use. So
Right. Okay. Most of the sprays and the stuff that treats fleas also treat ticks. So
yeah, there's a lot of products that do that, combination flea and
Right.
tick products. So you just have to make sure that it is labeled for fleas and ticks.
right.
I mean, there's multiple products that do just the fleas, which will do the adults and the larvae and the eggs. But it's best to do that combination product.
Okay. All right, Dr. Clayborn, we're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back. You're watching The Paul White Show. Welcome back to The Paul White Show. We're visiting with Dr. Eric Clayborn. Dr. Clayborn, you know, before we started the show, I didn't have you to tell my viewing audience a little bit about you and what you actually do, other than we know you're a veterinarian, but about your services too, what you actually do.
I do a mobile house call service where I come to your home and treat your pets there, but I also do some work at the Humane Society.
Okay. I know a lot of my customers really like the mobile service that you offer, because they don't have to wrestle, especially the larger breed dogs, into their vehicle and try to drive, you know, to an office call for a veterinarian. So for the most part, all of them are loving you coming to them and they getting the dogs taken care of. Now, you offer all the services too.
Right.
I mean, you also crop ears and.
Right, I do all different types of services. I also have a facility where I can do surgeries and then do x-rays and dental procedures as well. But yeah, a lot of people do prefer that. You know, I come to their home just so they, like you said, they don't have to load them up, or if they have multiple animals, it's just a lot easier.
Right.
Or especially some cats, you know, they don't do well in the car, so it's just a lot less stressful on them if I come to them. So.
Right. And before the show is over, we'll give you his contact so you can get in touch with him, or just a phone call away for a mobile vet. Like I said, it stops there. Now, we were talking about fleas. Some of the products we have here on the table are for fleas. We even have a natural one if your pet can't take the what I call chemical, the perithium in the sprays and the deal. So there's several ways you could treat them. This product right here is called Bronco. Now this is labeled for dogs, but they also use it on horses and stuff like that too. A lot of time I found out that the Bronco seemed to be more effective or last a longer period of time than the regular fleas off spray that's on the market. So I've been selling the last several years a spray like this one, the Bronco, to treat the fleas and ticks with on a lot of the dogs.
Yeah, you just have to be careful and make sure that the product is labeled for if you're trying to use it on cats as well, because
Right,
a lot of those
right.
dog products aren't approved for cats. So you
Right,
just have to be really
right.
careful with that as well.
Right, right. Then we have a yard stuff. This is called it's a mosquito beater, but it is labeled for fleas and ticks in the yard too. This one container, I call it the Lazy Man application, because it just screws onto the water hose, and it'll cover 5,000 square feet in the yard, and it lasts 3 to 4 weeks when you spray your yard with it. So you can play Kim Lawn or whatever you want to play when you screw your water hose on and just turn the water on, turn the valve on it, and it puts out a spray. Little nature just flew in. Puts out a spray, for your yard. So when you spray your yard.
That is one of the most important parts of when you're trying to break the flea cycles, that you also treat the environment. So
Right.
making sure that you're treating the yard, making sure that you're treating the house,
Right.
and make sure you're treating all the pets in the house.
Right, right. Yeah, that's another problem. I tell a lot of customers, they want to just maybe buy the Bronco and spray the pet, and then they don't treat the yard, though. You got to treat the source into the house,
Right.
And another product that I didn't really bring, speaking of the house, is a dust for people who got carpet that gets the fleas get into your carpet. There is a powder or dust that you just sprinkle on your carpet, and you let it sit for 2 hours, and then you just vacuum it up.
Right. And that's going to help get rid of a lot of the larvae that the
Right.
fleas are going to lay in the carpet and just around the
Right.
dark places around the house.
Right.
But it also is going to treat the eggs as well.
Right. And then this product here is another one for the lawn that you put in a spreader. It's called Killer Bug 2. It's labeled for fleas and ticks in the lawn also, and like a 10-pound bag cover, 18-pound bag will cover 10,000 square feet. So that's a good way to treat your lawn
Right.
with the granular, with the spray, and then you treat the dog, and then the carpet stuff for inside, and you should rid yourself of the fleas.
Right. So that's something that you do, like you have to reapply that. 'Cause
Right.
They can
Yeah.
definitely reinfest your yard or
Right.
reinfest your home. So-
Right, right. And then after a couple of rains on it, you'll have to reapply it too. And then this product right here is called it's Pet Pride No Flea. Now that's an all natural product right there for people maybe with dogs that is allergic to the chemical process of these others, or the perithium that's in the others that you can give them, and that's an ongoing deal. You give it to them all summer long. It goes in the water, takes about a teaspoon per quart of water, and I advise customers to mix it in a gallon milk jug. Just mix you up a gallon. And every time the dog's water bowl get empty, you already got it mixed to pour it in the water bowl, and the dog eat it. Now, it's a vinegar, garlic solution that comes out of Clayborn, Texas. They make it. But it seemed to work, and I got a lot of people that like to do that rather than spraying them. But yet still, again, like you said, you still have to do the yard.
Right.
You still have to do the rest of it. You can't just give the dog
Right.
the drink.
Yeah, you got to break that cycle. So
Right.
you got to treat the entire environment with it.
Right, right. So that's another good product for people that don't want to mess with the other. Then we have one more on the table. That's a dust. It's called it's a garden, pet, and livestock dust. This has the same as the liquids have in them, the perithium mix in them, and you just dust your dog with that. And I suppose if the dog got thick hair, you'd have to kind of comb it in.
Right.
A
You
little
need to
bit.
kind of work that in and get it down
Right.
to the skin
Skin,
as best
yeah.
you can.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Doc, we're going to take another commercial break, and we'll be right back. You're just watching The Paul White Show. Welcome back to the Paul White Show. You know, I hope you tuned in at the top of the show. My guest today is Dr. Eric Clayborn, veterinarian, and we've been hitting on some stuff that you really need to know about pets if you are wondering about fleas and allergies and all types of stuff that pet come in contact with, especially in the summertime. So I hope we gave you some good tips on animals. We're going to talk a little bit now about food. Doctor, there's a lot of food on the market now, and I see it coming out every week in my pet age books that I get in the store to keep up with what's going on with pets and stuff. It is so much food out there. I think they sort of confusing the buyer, or the buyer don't know what to do with foods.
Right. There's a lot of, like you said, different foods out there, and it's going to do different things. Sometimes it's going to help with allergies. Sometimes it's going to help with age-related issues, whether it's arthritis or just inflammation of the skin. Or so there's, like you said, you have to really look at the ingredients and look at the product itself to make sure it's doing what you are hoping it's going to do.
Right. There are also during the commercial break, we was discussing kind of price range with foods. You need to compare your food that you're buying with what's recommended label wise, and not just buy the first bag of food you see that helps your dog.
Right.
I've been able to save a lot of customers up to $20 a bag on dog food because they buying another brand that they've seen advertised. Somebody told them about it, and paying the big time money for it. That's quite a savings when you can compare your labels and get the same type of food with the same effectiveness on the dog and save $20.
Right.
$20 a month. I particularly carry Victor dog food, and I know I've given you samples in your mobile unit. If people got questions about dog food that you can pass out to your customers. Also, because it's a good dog food, and they make so many different varieties of it. As you mentioned, they got the one with the joint medicine in it that you could give your dog all along. Not saying that he won't have to still get his shots from a vet, for aging dogs that you have to give them.
Right.
When they start having trouble with the joints and all this stuff. Speaking of joint trouble, how can you really tell when your dog get to having joint problems? Or is there a point that
it varies for each dog, but some dogs are going to be like reluctant to stand. They're going to be reluctant to go up and down stairs. They may limp or favor a leg. They may exhibit some pain after like a walk. So some of the dogs may walk differently, whether they go up and down the stairs, so just have some difficulty in doing those things. So those are some of the things you can look out for in your animal in terms of arthritis and just overall joint discomfort.
Right. So usually in dogs, about what age does that start? 9 years old or a little lesser than that maybe?
It just kind of varies on the dogs. Some of the large breed dogs is going to affect them a little bit earlier, and some of the small breed dogs are maybe after 10 years of age, but it just varies with each dog.
Oh, okay. So you just have to notice your pet,
right.
Pay attention to your pet, and that'll determine when you have to start treating them for something like that. Okay, now dogs with allergies on dog food, grain-frees usually work better, you think, than a regular?
Right, that helps with a lot of the dogs because some of them are sensitive to the different grains in it, so that's what a lot of the different new food products are coming out with, just that are grain-free that tend to help them with their overall allergies, especially if it is something that seems to be affecting them year-round.
Right, I know we offer a sweet potato and salmon dog food. It's 33% protein, no soy, no corn, no wheat, no gluten for dogs with allergies. And I've helped a lot of customers that the vet has told them that their dog had allergies, so they take them completely off of the grain, even rice in the dog food. Some of the dog foods, even though they don't have that in them, they use a rice instead of wheat, soy, corn, and all of that in the dog food. So, like I said, like we were saying, it's a lot of different types of dog food. Now, this really pays to read the label.
Right.
If your vet specify a certain type of dog food for you to get to feed your dog. Feeding and measurement. Okay, I'm a Victor dog food dealer, and I solely stand besides Victor. Before the show is over, I'm going to try to let you see a couple of Victor dogs. I happen to own a couple of pit bull terriers, 9 years old and 12 years old, and they're on the Victor dog food. And they do very well. I try to discuss with customers that come in with smaller dogs when they doing their puppies. They want them to get big and muscular quicker than I think the system can handle.
Right.
So they want to put their dog on the best dog food, and then they want to throw in some supplements. And the dog, they trying to get him too big too quick.
Right, and that can definitely lead to some joint issues. So
Right.
it's best to not get too much weight on them too quickly.
Right. Yeah, that's what I try to explain to them. They want a dog, to do that with the dog. So they just need to pay attention to the labels. Go with your vet recommendation if you don't know, or go to a good supplier where he can explain it to you on what to do. Now, I told earlier in the show we're going to give them your contact. Now, how do they get in touch with you to set up an appointment for you to come by and see them?
My phone number is 316-209-9251, and it's Clayborn Veterinary Services.
Okay, these are a couple of dogs that I wanted to show you. These are my Pit Bull Terriers, Jazzy and Fawn, and Dr. Clayborn has been treating them ever since they were less than 6 months old, and now they're 12 and 9 years old, and they've been on the Victor dog food too. As you can see, there's some good, healthy-looking dogs, especially this one right here. That is her daughter. So Victor dog food, I guess she wants to go play now, is a very good dog food, and Dr. Clayborn is a good vet to take care of. As you see, Fawn knows Dr. Clayborn pretty well. He treats her for allergies. She have an allergy problem, so he treats her and checks her for allergy every now and then, and he comes to the house and do it. I don't have to load this whale up in the truck trying to take him to her for him to check him. All right, we'd like to thank you for watching the Paul White Show, and most of all, I'd like to thank my guest, Dr. Clayborn.
Thank you, Paul.
It's been a pleasure doing the show with you, and I hope you call your friends and tell them they need to watch the show.